thought it was funny reading through it and finding your little comments here and there.
For the most part, it's copy and paste, but let's see.
Well, I mean, like your thing for Hi-Fi Rush saying, "Tell me it's coming out," and then you said, "No, it's not."
I was so disappointed.
That was funny.
I'm typing that up, and then I scroll down to the next comment. I'm like, son of a bitch.
That's what you get for not reading.
Well, I did read. I just read in.
Just not
I
far
read
enough.
it in order.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. You can only blame yourself.
I'm sorry. I'm not an Xbox boy. Okay.
I don't know what to tell you.
Get an Xbox.
You can live vicarious. Yeah. Well, okay. Besides that, besides spending extra money, I was gonna say you can live vicarious through. I can't talk already. We're off to the races. I can't. You can live vicariously through me.
Okay.
I still have an Xbox One you could probably borrow if you really want to.
I'll be fine.
Just like it. I mean, well, dude, you have a new computer. You could get Game Pass. It's only $10 for PC.
Well, we say it's new.
And it's on there.
We say it's new, but it's really not. It's more of a refurbished. Like, to the point that I even tried to see if I...
New to you.
New to me, yes. I could try to see if at least it can handle it. I can't complain. I got it for $150.
Yeah, it's not terrible. Yeah. So, besides the other stuff that we don't have to talk about, how was your week?
It was good. For the most part, pretty quiet.
Didn't play anything? Besides your slime game?
I'm trying to think, what? Oh my god, there was something that I played, but I don't remember what the hell it is. It really was more like a mind-numbing type of thing, because I don't even remember what I played.
It was that bad? Or just something to pass the time?
Yeah, it was more along those lines. Like I was playing, but not really, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, other than that,
just something to keep your hands busy.
Basically. Well, I've been doing that a lot, especially when while Callie was up doing her lesson plans and stuff for the next day. We were, I was just trying to keep myself busy until she went to bed. That way, I'm up with her.
Right.
Better than eating.
That's true. Which, hey, like I pointed out, you made it past the weak point now.
This is true.
You feel yourself slipping yet?
At times. Like the night, like I was telling you, the nights that I was up with Callie, and I never thought that statement would come out of my mouth. That I'd be the one waiting up for her and not the other way around. I would, if I caught myself getting bored, I'd be walking to the fridge to go get something. Normally I would make like a sandwich or something like that, but since I started tracking again, it's basically either been fruit or eggs.
There you go. Still making healthy choices.
I know eggs aren't good for the cholesterol, but it's still better. Cholesterol or
do egg whites?
Cholesterol or carbs? Which is going to kill me faster at this point?
That's why you just do nuts or fruit.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about it then.
Nuts are freaking expensive. Holy shit.
Yeah. That's the only downside. And you have to watch them, too, because like, a lot of them are full of salt.
Ooh.
It's like they just cover them in it.
Yes, they do. Hell, my favorite one is Blue Diamond salt and vinegar almonds.
I like pickles, but salt and vinegar, anything just tastes like a pickle, but in the wrong way.
I beg to differ. I like salt and vinegar almonds, salt and vinegar chips.
You can beg all you want to. You're not going to change my mind.
Oh, go ahead. It's more for me. I speak of.
You and Meg can share. She likes salt and vinegar chips.
fine.
So funny enough, I didn't really play anything this week either. Like, this was a busy week. We had shit to do every day, basically. But I didn't even touch Destiny this week, except for like Tuesday.
Yep.
No, Monday. I don't know, Monday or Tuesday. Me and my brother-in-law ran through another dungeon that I hadn't done yet. We did that in like an hour.
Yeah.
And then that was it. But other than that, after Wednesday, Hi-Fi Rush came out, which we'll talk about later, and that game's so fucking fun. It's really cool.
Just from the videos.
So that's what I played for a while.
So you did play something this week.
For a little bit, yeah. I've gotten through the first entire level and beat like the first boss.
Yeah.
And I'm on to the second part.
Yay!
So, still getting into it, but I finally got all the moves.
Woohoo!
So that's fun. That's it.
Ready to introduce the show?
I guess. Because there's not really much else that's been going on. Like, there's our stories for the week. You're welcome. This is a Ramblepack episode podcast. I'm going to bed. See you later. It's episode 23. And I'm not even going to look. It's 23.
Okay.
And if I'm wrong, no, I'm not.
It will be uploaded with the number 23 on it. We don't care.
Yes. And I'm still your host. Fuck me. I'm done talking. I'm your host, Adam.
No, you're not. And I'm his co-host, Mike.
Who could talk better than I can, apparently.
That's a very sad thought.
It's late. It's Friday. I'm old. I need to go to bed.
It is 9:30. That is not late. I can't say shit. I would think I was in bed and asleep by 10:30 yesterday.
Sounds about right. I fucking fell asleep on the couch at like 9:50 last night. So yeah, I'm old.
Mm-hmm. It's sad. Gone are the days where we could be up till like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning playing video games.
I remember staying up all night and doing that. And then going through the next day, and then finally going to sleep and not waking up until like noon the next day.
If I didn't get sleep, I wouldn't go to wherever I had to go. Which was usually school.
Oh, well. Well, that's on you.
Very true.
And I'm going to put this out early in the episode. We're going to have a special episode covering a demo we got early access to for a Steam gig called Mika and the Witch's Mountain, which I'm working on playing through right now. It's very cute, and it's very fun.
Woohoo!
You can say something. It's okay.
It's just very.
You look like,
it's just very.
you're like, should I say something?
When you showed it to me, it was very, very reminiscent of like Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yes, that's exactly what I told Meg too. I'm like, it looks like a chibi version of a Ghibli movie. And when I showed her like it in action and stuff, she goes, "Oh, this is like Kiki's Delivery Service." I'm like, "Yes, exactly. You get it." And she liked that movie a lot too.
Oh yeah, that one was awesome. It's
that night that me and you were playing No Man's Sky for the first time. They were in the back room having like a little movie theater night with popcorn and everything, watching that movie on the bigger screen.
That is awesome. I like Miyazaki films just because of the fact that it showed me that anime can be more than just a TV show.
Yeah. Ooh, what's your favorite one?
Oh my god. It was
Would it be easier to name a top 3?
I want to yeah, okay. Top 3, I want to say it's going to be Howl's Moving Castle, Ponyo, and
Really?
yeah, I like Ponyo. That one's funny. Oh my god.
Amelia likes Ponyo a lot too.
Princess Mononoke.
Okay. In any particular order, or is that just ones you thought of?
I want to say Ponyo's going to be at the top.
Surprising me left and right. Okay.
Howl's Moving Castle will have to be right after that, and then Princess Mononoke is going to be at 3.
Okay. So, similar to mine. Very close. First for me is probably Howl's Moving Castle. Number 2 is Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind.
That one, surprisingly, I've never watched.
It's good. It's an older movie, but it holds up really well.
I'll have to see if was it Paramount. I'm trying to remember if it was HBO Max or Paramount that has the
HBO Max has got all of them.
Okay, they're the one that has the Ghibli collection. Okay.
Yes. And they actually have a 30-minute little episode that's just background scenery and noise from all the Ghibli movies. Like, that's all it is.
No shit. Okay.
It's just something like to put on in the background and listen to. It's pretty neat. I mean, there's nothing to it except for just moving shots of backgrounds from all the different movies. And you can point out the different movies as you watch it, too.
Right.
But it's neat. It's just cool to watch the animation.
I have to check that out. Maybe at some point when I'm doing my reading or attempting to do my continuing education. That's a drag. I swear, people will get back to video games. We're very distracted today.
It's been a while. I missed you. We need to catch up.
Yes, we do. Now that I actually have now that I actually have a dedicated system, it should be a lot easier now.
Okay. Here's hoping. Fingers crossed.
Yes, fingers crossed. Knock on wood. Whatever I got to do to make sure this stays running.
All right. Top of the list. I put that on there for you because you're more into wrestling and stuff, so you can tell me who the hell is Zelina Vega?
I'm not the one that's into wrestling.
What? I thought you knew about wrestling stuff.
I used to
Callie?
watch. Callie's the bigger wrestling person.
Wow.
I used to watch when I was little, like to the point where one of my dad's favorite stories was one of the times we went to Disney World, and I pointed out Macho Man Randy Savage, who was visiting that same day.
What? He was there? You saw
Yeah,
him?
we got to meet him.
Aw, I'm jealous.
Years later, I come to find
He's
out.
a cool dude.
Years later, come to find out, one of my employees when I was working at the Standard Times, his sister-in-law was married to Randy Savage.
Wow.
I was like, are you shitting me?
That's cool. Again, you say the name of the newspaper, and I'm just thinking about J. Jonah Jameson. I can't help it.
Surprisingly, I've never ventured over into that side, so I couldn't tell you if there was anybody like that or not.
That'd be funny. Anyway, the thing that I was referencing was apparently Zelina Vega is a color commentator for Street Fighter 6, which I heard about them having some commentators like fighting game tournaments, like how they have commentators talking about the matches that are going on and like the different fighters and styles and stuff like that. They're putting them in the game too to like comment on what's going on in the fight.
Right.
And they're adding her to it as well. So that's interesting.
That's pretty cool.
I'm just wondering why her? Like, of all the wrestlers, I wonder why her specifically.
Maybe she was.
And what gave them the choices for the people that they picked. Because I don't know anything about the fighting game community and people who comment on or commentate on the matches.
Maybe they found out she was a big Street Fighter fan and was like, "Hey, we're looking for commentators. You want to do it?"
Good possibility.
Usually, what happens.
It's still cool though.
Oh, absolutely.
I've heard some of the other commentators, so I want to hear how hers are. It's neat. Cool to listen to.
Well, on the same topic of wrestlers,
Uh-huh.
I thought this was pretty cool, especially since you showed me the video of him walking on during a Japanese.
It was a cool follow-up to that.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm excited for the same thing, but for the other person. And I also just learned about another one today that's going to be a special card as well.
Okay. Hopefully I know this person.
You probably do.
Cool.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Continue.
Oh yeah.
I'll bring it up.
Apparently, at the time when I read this, it was Kenny Omega and Raul Coley hopefully I pronounce it right, are...
My boy, you said it right.
Yay!
Raul.
Oh, no, I'm the first name I got, I knew I got down. It's the last name.
Coley. Yes, his last name is Coley.
Are 2 of the 6 celebrity summons in Like a Dragon Ishin. Basically, they what they're gonna be are like trooper cards, similar to...
It's like summonable skills and stuff like that you can use.
Right. They're gonna be similar to like the pound mates used in Yakuza.
For those who have played Yakuza.
Allows players to summon other characters to aid them in battle with special abilities, attacks, temporary stat boots. Coley's...
If anyone's played the recent Yakuza, think of it as like summoning your friends on your cell phone.
Yes.
People who have played that know what I'm talking about.
Coley's card is supposed to be called Essence of Firestorm, while Omega's card is going to be Essence of the One-Winged Angel. It's a reference to both his a reference to him dressing up as Sephiroth for a Japanese wrestling fight that he did, which was pretty cool. And apparently one of his special moves is called the One-Winged Angel, one of his special wrestling moves. That
Yes.
I had no idea. So
I had heard about that because my sister and her husband are super into wrestling, and they've talked about Kenny Omega and Orange Cassidy and all those people.
now were they aware? Now are they video game fans that they were aware that One-Winged Angel was actually a reference to Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII?
Yes, me and my sister grew up playing video games and sharing all that stuff with each other, and they're both huge gamers too, so they know all that shit.
So they were just eating this up then.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I thought...
Go
I
ahead.
was saying, I thought that just the whole... I was getting giddy of the fact that the whole community coming round in its own way. Wrestler referencing a video game, being referenced in another video game from a reference from a wrestling match.
Like, how many layers deep can we get with this?
Oh my god.
So I actually just learned of 2 other people that are in this game.
Yeah.
One I just learned about today, and this other one, scrolling through to find his name so I don't mess it up, found another person too that they were. So we've got 4 now.
Okay.
A third one is somebody called... I don't know if... It's not her name, I don't think, but she goes by Vampy Bit Me. At least on Twitter, that's her handle, is Vampy Bit Me, and she goes, "Hi, I'm Vampy." But she does gaming and gunpla.
Okay.
She builds Gundams. So she's going to be a summon in the game as well. And maybe this name will sound familiar to you. Alex Mukala. He basically does a funky version of video game music on YouTube.
It sounds familiar, but I'd have to look them up to...
Oh, I almost had a picture for you. Here.
How do you spell the last name?
Open your eyes. Mukala. Moukala. This guy. Oh, come on, phone. Camera.
Yeah, he looks familiar.
Look familiar? Yeah. If you looked him up on YouTube, you'll know exactly who he is. But he basically just does video game music in a funky style. Like, he adds funk to it. Literally,
Right.
That's how it's described.
Okay.
So he's another one that was just showed today.
Yeah, I think I've seen a few of his videos. Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So he's number 4.
Woohoo!
So I wonder what the next 2 are.
It's definitely not a rhyme or reason to them.
No, not really. Because like when the first one was Raul, which I showed
Yeah.
or which I saw, I was like, okay, yeah, I get that. I know that he's talked a lot about the Yakuza games and he's like a celebrity, so sure, why not? And then they brought Kenny Omega. I'm like, okay, makes sense. He's big into video games. People know him. And then these other 2, I'm like, okay, so they're big on YouTube and probably Twitch too. And I'm like, that makes sense.
I want to...
But it just seems kind of random too.
Bit. I'm assuming it has to do with like their... a very broad sense of it, but their ties to like the anime and video game culture whether it be
I can see that.
whether it be actually being fans or um.
I can tell you Raul is definitely a fan of Yakuza because when he was playing through the series, that's all he would like tweet and talk about for a while.
So it was well deserved.
Yeah.
You talked about us a lot. Now you get to be in our game. Woohoo!
Basically.
Well,
Dude, he was in Gears of War also, like one of the new ones.
no shit, lucky bastard.
Got to be his own new character.
So he's loving this then.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You wanna move? You wanna take the bad news then?
I was gonna ask if you want to do bad news or a good news thing.
Let's keep it in order.
Okay. You really want to keep it in order?
Yeah, it seems like a nice little roller coaster.
Yeah. Aw, yeah, aw. All right. So, I appreciate you putting in notes because I didn't get to rereading a lot of the stuff. So, forgive me. But, one of the former Blizzard managers talked about, see, was he fired or did he walk out? Because from what I understood, he was like, I'm not doing this and pushing against it. And then he's like, he didn't get anywhere with it, so he left? Or they were just like, no thanks, you don't want to play ball, goodbye.
When I was reading the article, my understanding was he was fired, but what happened was he got the email, or he allegedly got fired. That he got the email.
For context, it's Brian Birmingham, who was part of WoW Classic.
Yes.
Like he was the co-lead software engineer on it.
Yes, I apologize. He got the
No, that was me. I didn't explain.
He
anyway,
basically
he got the email.
Yeah, basically he got an email from higher ups, basically saying to rank, for them to rank their employees as far as production wise, and that they had to put people in the bottom tier, so that which, if they do that, the people in the bottom tier would get like pay cuts or wouldn't get as high bonuses, stuff like that, and he didn't agree with that. Essentially, what he had said, it's called stack ranking.
You have a quote in here from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a quote from him that says, this quote, "This sort of policy encourages competition between employees, sabotage of one another's work, a desire for people to find low-performing teams that they can be the best-performing worker on, and ultimately erodes trust and destroys creativity."
Oh, that's a bit ironic to what I said earlier. Set the bar low, and then when you do well. But yeah, he basically he's saying that he got that email, said he wasn't gonna do it, and he refused to do any work until that ranking system was gone, and
that's what ultimately got him fired.
Basically,
which good on him for standing up for his employees and doing the right thing, because that's a fucked up way to, I guess, judge employee work ethic.
Right, exactly. And then somebody from Blizzard they released their statement on it. Was basically saying that the stack ranking system was put in place to ensure employees who don't meet performance expectations receive honest feedback. And I like the wording, differentiated compensation. Basically, you're fucking them out of money. And a plan on how to best improve their own performance. That's a nice way of saying, hey, we're going to nicely berate you while also cutting your pay.
Not paying you as much,
right.
Yeah.
So, it just happens to be, his complaints just happen to be on top of, like, the long list of stuff going on between the Activision Blizzard, especially with the lawsuit filed by the state of California.
Yeah. So. Does not paint any better picture for their culture within Activision Blizzard.
Yep.
Especially since they were supposed to be cleaning things up and doing better and having all these things in place. This does not, doesn't really show that.
No, not at all, so... Yeah. Yeah, you know better, Blizzard.
Apparently they don't learn from their fucking mistakes.
Apparently not. But as long as they
So
keep
like, how much
making
more can we get away with?
right, they're the literal definition, and at this point of hey, we keep making money, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, enough of the bad news.
A lot of the stuff that keeps coming up to it makes me wonder what Microsoft is going to do should they actually get the opportunity to purchase them. Like, say the buyout goes through, or I should say acquisition. Say they acquire them.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to do then? Like, are they going to step in and say, all right, time to boot out all the people who are fucking things up and make this right? Or are they just going to say, hey, do what you need to do to make this right, and if not, then we'll visit it later? Like, are they actually going to do something about it?
I don't know. I don't think so, to be honest. Because why are they're gonna be paying so much money to acquire them, and then on top of that, they're gonna have to overhaul everything just to make it work. I think at that point it would just be easier to invest that money into their own studio and expand, if that's the case.
Well, remember, Activision Blizzard is literally Activision, Blizzard, and King now, I believe.
Yeah.
So you've got like 3 of the big name developers under that branch. Plus you have Raven Software, which became its own, what's the word? Can't think of it right now. Its own entity. What do you call it? Help me out here.
Oh my God.
Union.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't.
So they've got a lot to deal with.
Yeah. I don't see them dishing out all that money to acquire all these headaches. So either not much is going to change, or I don't know.
They might give them some time to work on it. Say, hey, these are the values that we uphold. A lot of our developers or companies too. Right. There's been plenty of problems with you guys, so you need to fix this shit, or we're going to fix it for you. I just hope that if the acquisition does go through, that they step in and do something to fix it.
I hope so too. That now that we talk about this more, I'm just hoping they're like them being for stuff and being behind equality and things within the video game community isn't to like appease the community while the acquisition is going on.
Right. I mean, them and a lot of the companies that they've acquired or done business with, they seem to believe in like all the same things and have the same values. Right. Activision Blizzard has said that they do, and they put that out in their games and stuff, but as from what we've seen in the last couple of years, behind the scenes, is not the case.
Right. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
Hope for the best, expect the worst.
Pretty much. Well, enough with this bad news. Let's go up on this roller
Good news,
coaster.
something we're all excited about again.
Yes.
Or again, another thing we're excited about.
Disney Dreamlight Valley. They announced that they will be releasing a new update in February. Update number 3.
Yeah, they put out their content roadmap for the year.
Mm-hmm. Update 3 that comes out in February is going to feature Mirabelle from Encanto, our lovable snowman, Olaf.
Who? Nobody said anything. You pointed at Callie and it was silent.
I have background noise.
I haven't heard anything, so I guess that's good.
But
yes, Olaf.
Yeah. Sounds like this update's going to be focused on the Frosted Heights this time, whereas like the last one was on the Savannah. I know there's a better name to it, but I don't remember at the top of my head. And
Sunlit Plateau.
Yes, Sunlit Plateau. There you go.
Okay. Took a wild guess because I haven't stepped foot in that game in a while.
You and me both. I want to say once I completed the Christmas Star Path, I think I stopped playing for a little while.
Yeah, Meg got Stitch and we stopped.
And then they're also, which is pretty cool, they're going to be celebrating the Star Path this time around is going to be celebrating Disney's 100th anniversary. By the way, happy anniversary, Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yay. Soul-sucking company. I'm just kidding.
what I'm actually looking forward to is just because I'm a little biased, is the April update. Just because supposedly Simba's going to be coming around in that update.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and they're celebrating the Disney parks. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if they're gonna do that, if they're gonna have for where you know how you can complete the star path and collect items and decorations and stuff like that. I'm
Yep.
wondering if some of like those decorations are gonna be iconic Disney rides, like maybe the carousel from
Where the hell could you put those? Like maybe if they were little ones that you can put on a shelf or like something you can walk up to and like interact with it and make it run. But if it was like the big attraction, where the hell could you put that on the island?
Well, you have to remember, we're basically putting it in the main area, main square, and the, oh my god, what's the first biome that's open? I'm having brain fart moments.
I don't remember.
Where people are mainly putting in that stuff right now, or at least that I've seen. You can still put these stuff on the beach. You can put it in Sunlit Plateau, in the Glade.
The Forest of Valor.
Yes, the Forest of Valor, Frosted Heights, the Forgotten Land, and whatever new biomes that they decide to open up in the future. So, and they don't have to be that big. Look at oh Jesus, not to really be spoilerish. You guys have Woody, right?
Yeah.
His house. You know how it's a carousel?
Mm-hmm.
That's an attraction.
Oh, yeah. And it's not that big either. You have to go into it and all that shit's inside.
Right, exactly. It could be a carousel. It could be not a carousel. We have a carousel. It could be a Ferris wheel. Could be for all we know, it could be a Dumbo ride, stuff like that. If they even do attractions.
What'd you call me?
Dumbo.
Oh, okay. Just making sure I heard you.
Because you can fly.
They're looking. Hey, I don't have big ears. But apparently they're adding multiplayer later on in the year.
Well, supposedly.
Yeah, have they actually said what type of multiplayer it's going to
I
be?
have no idea. They didn't go into much. It just said multiplayer in the tier thing. I'm still curious. I think we're just going to be able to like visit our each other's lands to see what people do with them.
I feel like it's going to go like the Animal Crossing route, where if the person's online, they can invite you or whatever, and then you just go and check it out and wander around the island.
Right, exactly. Because I don't see them implementing any type of system where they merge all the worlds together, because I think that's just going to be very congested.
Yeah.
But, we'll just have to wait and see. And what else? Let's see. Oh, yeah, and they didn't say specifically when, but we should be getting Vanellope, too.
Yeah.
That would be this summer, though.
That's exciting.
So, they're doing a good job. I like it. I really can't wait to see what else they add to the game. Keep doing what you're doing, Dreamlight.
I'd say they're doing pretty well right now.
Oh, absolutely. I'm half tempted to just like bite the bullet and upgrade to the high tier before the full release of the game and they get rid of it. The Founders Packs.
Oh, are they doing away with all that stuff?
Well, if they it can't be a Founder Pack anymore if they release the game because it's no longer a founder. You're no longer a founder.
No, but even when games still come out, like free-to-play games, when it's fully released, they'll still have like a $20 or $30 pack with a bunch of different stuff for it called like the Founders Pack and stuff like that. So it's not so much buying it beforehand. They still have them out even after release anyway.
Okay. I'll have to think about that. Let's see. So you must be stoked about the next item on our list.
Oh, the Dead Space remake?
Yes, sir.
Why?
I don't know. Isn't that your type of game?
I mean, to be fair, I like all games. I don't. Well, let me rephrase that. I like all games except for sports games, unless it's like Mario or Blur or something like that, where there's a fun aspect to it. Regular old sports games do nothing for me. But I like games in general. I did like Dead Space when it came out originally, so I'm glad to see that the remake is doing great. Not surprised it's doing great, but I'm glad that it is.
Everybody seems to be on the same page. They really liked it. They did a good job with it.
I'm going to clarify this or qualify this before I say it, but in the game, like the aliens are called necromorphs, and you have like plasma cutters and things like that. And the idea is to remove their limbs, and if they're on the ground, you have like a hardcore stomp, so you can stomp on them to try and kill them while they're on the ground.
Oh Jesus!
I wish I could remember which website had it, but their headline for talking about the Dead Space remake score was saying that it, quote unquote, stomped the Callisto Protocol in its first week. I was like, ooh, wow.
Oh my god.
You're not wrong, but damn.
Oh Jesus. But yeah, the reviews are very good. It's not. I don't think I've seen a single bad one, to be honest. They're all saying the same thing.
Yeah, I haven't really seen anything negative either.
Yeah, they're all basically saying the same thing. They stay true to the original, while still making it very interesting.
They even they added a new, like, tougher difficulty, which added an alternate ending and some other costumes and stuff to the game too.
Oh, cool.
When I say costumes, I mean suits, but yeah.
You get to get dressed in the game.
So yeah. They definitely kept the spirit of the game intact while adding to it.
Good on you guys. You did good.
Yeah. So, do you remember me talking about this next game?
Dicey Dungeon. It sounded familiar when I
a couple podcasts ago. I told you this is what I was playing for a while because I was stuck on it. This is that game.
Oh no shit. Okay.
So it's coming to PS4 and PS5. I added that in there just so that way you could see it. Maybe even try it out.
I thought it looked fun. It looked fun. I would definitely want to try it out. When you got it for yourself, how much did you end up paying for it? Do you remember?
$0. It's on Game Pass. Sorry.
Well, that doesn't help me.
I mean, okay, here. Let me put it to you like this. I paid $15 a month to have access to the game.
Along with a whole library of games.
Yeah, well, we're talking about this one, so.
Yeah, it's very true. But no, it looked interesting. It definitely looks like the type of game that I could sit down and play, and just like pass the time type of thing.
It's not very long. If you spent just a couple hours in it, you could beat the entire game.
Oh no shit. Okay.
But like you'd have to sit for a couple hours just straight playing through it.
Yeah.
So it's not terrible. It's got good replay value if you want to spend some time playing it and then come back to it later.
Which kind of adds to one of my comments where I was saying the background music has a very retro style to it, so it kind of matches the type of game. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Something for you to check out.
Yes, sir.
It should be fairly cheap too, because it's an older game.
I couldn't imagine, like you said, if it's only a couple hour playthrough. I couldn't have, even if it was a new game, I couldn't expect it to be too expensive either.
Yeah.
Maybe like $5-10. I would assume, from the little bit that I saw.
I'm gonna look it up now that you said that's what you think it might be. You'd say $5 or $10?
I would say that, yeah. Drum roll. Let's see me crash and burn horribly.
Why will it not bring up the PlayStation Store for me? Like everything I'm typing in is like, no, I'm not going to tell you. Oh, did I find it? There it is. Nope, that's Devious Dungeon. Fuck me. All right, let's go based on Steam then, I guess.
I could.
$14.99.
No shit. Okay. So I was definitely wrong.
Not too far off, though.
Okay.
So did you get a chance to watch any of the Xbox Developer Direct?
Yes, I saw clips of it. I'm trying to see. Because I tried to, oh my god, because the video was for like 45 minutes long, I couldn't sit through the whole thing. But yeah. I skipped through it, and they look pretty cool. I can definitely say the one I sat down on for the longest was Hi-Fi Rush.
Really?
Yes.
No extended interest in even Redfall?
By that point, I was kind of... It looked cool. It just went, but by that point, I was already getting tired and needed to get my ass off the chair.
I gotcha.
That's the only downside to it.
So, for context, they showed off Minecraft Legends. They showed off all the I almost said PSP PvP gameplay and some things you can do in that game. It's cool. It's like a PvPvE sort of thing.
Yes.
Because there's some mobs that are running around doing their own thing while you're trying to take out the enemy base and stuff. And you can have like different roles for each person doing different things. I thought that was pretty cool. It's a nice little change. Talking more about Forza Motorsports, their new game coming out. It still looks pretty.
Yes, it looks very pretty. I like the way.
And all these games are debuted. What's the word I'm trying to think of? They're slated to come out this year. Minecraft Legends is coming out April 18th of this year. Forza Motorsports, just 2023, hasn't said when. Mm-hmm. Elder Scrolls Online, they got a new chapter coming out called Necrom. That's in June. And they made all their previous ones free right now. So if you have access to Elder Scrolls Online, you can jump in and play all of them for free for a while.
Now, is Elder Scrolls one of those games that it's a paid subscription, like a monthly subscription to access it?
So it was before. I don't know if it is now. I think they changed it up.
Okay. I've been meaning to try it.
I think it's on Game Pass, so I might download it and try it.
Oh my god, Elder Scrolls should be on the PlayStation. I shouldn't, right?
Yeah, it's on all systems.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to try it too. Now that all of them should be free at this point. But I think that's one of the reasons why
for a limited time.
Yeah, because that was one of the main reasons why I didn't play it. Was because especially any games like that, World of Warcraft, the Final Fantasy Online games, I just don't. I didn't see the purpose of buying the game, and then on top of that, have to pay a subscription fee to play that game.
Yeah.
So, nah.
So they also showed off and stealth released Hi-Fi Rush. Came out the same day as the developer direct, which was a cool way to do that, especially for that studio and where it came from, basically. So Tango Gameworks made The Evil Within and The Evil Within 2 and helped to ship out Ghostwire Tokyo. Mm-hmm. That's a company that was co-founded by Shinji Mikami, the Resident Evil dude. Ooh. So he's all known for horror games and whatnot, and they're part like an arm of Bethesda. This is not a horror game. This is a rhythmic brawler type game akin to like Devil May Cry.
Yes.
And it looks like a Saturday morning cartoon. It's all cel-shaded. A lot of comparison that I'm seeing is that people say the art style reminds them of like PS2 era games, but in the best way.
Yes. That's exactly what it was. It sounds like style-wise, it reminded me of like when I was playing Dot Hack when they first came out, like the JRPG games.
Yeah. Or Jet Set Radio Future.
Yes. So it looks very pretty. I like the art style. I like the humorous part of it. It's a really cool game. I'm very upset that that right now it's Xbox and PC. God damn it!
Sorry, man.
Oh.
The game is a lot of fun. I've played it for a little bit. I'm enjoying it. It's great. I recommend giving it a shot. It's easy in the best way too.
Right.
Like I say, rhythmic. Everything happens on the beat, but you're not beholden to the rhythm or the beat of the song. You can play the game as you want. You're just rewarded for doing it on beat.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yes.
So,
and then they showed more gameplay and stuff about Redfall at the end.
Mm-hmm. And that,
which I'm still not sold on it. It looks like fun, but like watching it, the gunplay and shooting and movement looks stiff. Yeah. And like going to objectives and things, it seems like the AI was kind of just like meh. They just stood in one spot, did their thing, and then moved a little bit so that way you can still see where they're going, and so you can shoot them and stuff. But then they pop back up, do it again.
Right.
Didn't seem to be enough to it.
I don't know. Usually that type of stuff they try to find their best footage. If that's their best at that time to showcase, then they're in trouble.
So it's Arcane.
Yeah.
So I have hope. They put out really good games, and I can't really think of one that hasn't really landed well. So I'm hopeful.
Right.
But this didn't do anything for me. Like showing the gameplay and stuff didn't really heighten it or lower my hopes or expectations. Just kind of, all right. It was more of nothing.
I'm wondering that's why it was at the very end.
Usually they save the heavy hitters for the end.
Well, then I'm wrong.
No, you're fine. I'm just saying, usually on like those kind of things, they save like the big reveal or the big thing people are looking for the end. Yeah. It is what it is.
Oh, shit.
Have you, since you said you liked the writing and how, I guess how it sounded, the humor in it, I feel like this is going to be a loaded conversation just because of how much crap there's been about it. But have you seen anything about Forspoken? Like any reviews, watched any gameplay, listened to anything about it?
I've tried to avoid it, especially with how excited I was for it. And where I kind of got disappointed with the initial reviews on it, I'm just like, crap. Let's try to avoid this till I actually get to try it myself. Because it is a pretty game. It's Square. They usually do pretty good. Like I know they had their ups and downs with like with Final Fantasy 15 being like it was a good game, but it was lackluster for what it was hyped up to be.
Yeah, the ending really fell apart.
Yeah. To the point that they were supposed to have 3 DLCs, and it was so.
Oh, they had a lot.
Well, they were supposed. Last I heard of it, and it's been a while since I've looked into it. They had a DLC release slate that they wanted for it, but then because of how lackluster it was, they canceled the remainder of it, and they were like, "Yeah, no, we're not going to go with this."
Oh, I don't remember what their plans were, or how many they had. I just know that they had and put out DLCs for each of your additional characters, plus like one of the enemies in the game, like one of the ones that you keep coming up on. Beyond that, and their free DLC, like weapons and outfits, I don't really think anything else came out aside from like the side mission stuff.
Right.
I forget what that was called, but That's really it.
Pretty much, but for the most part, other than that stuff, Square's I've been pretty reliable with Square, so I want to keep it as unbiased as I can once I actually do get to play it.
Okay, so safe to say you don't know anything about dialogue, gameplay, story, anything.
Nada.
Okay. A lot of discourse about story and character and that. Just how it's... A lot of people are upset because they say the dialogue is either lackluster or really grating.
Mm-hmm.
Character-wise, she's unlikable. Gameplay-wise, it's fun, but kind of unimaginative. Like, the first stuff you get, you never really touch it again because it's, like, basically 3 types of rocks.
Okay.
And the other stuff you get later on, but it happens... Some of the good stuff that you get that becomes your main arsenal doesn't happen until later on in the game.
Okay.
And a lot of it was centered around dialogue. Things people say, how they react to things, what people do in certain instances.
Mm.
And because of this... there was a lot of comparison to Hi-Fi Rush's dialogue.
Yeah.
They're both in that similar vein of, like, kind of campy-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, it works for Hi-Fi Rush because it's a cartoony style game. That's what it set out to be. That's very clearly what it is, and it fits the style.
Right.
Forspoken's dialogue is campy and angry, and I don't understand why.
Yeah.
And it's like it takes itself too seriously while saying campy things that just don't fit the situations.
Right. Okay.
Without really spoiling anything, I'll give you an idea. Like the character's first in the place that she's in, and that brace is on her arm, which allows her to use magic and shit. It's basically where you take down your first enemy, and there's a little cutscene where the bracelet's talking to her, saying, I helped you with this or whatever, and she just keeps going, I moved things with my mind. I moved that with my mind. Did you see that shit? I did that with my mind. And he's just like, well, we did it together, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, this is in the middle of you trying to figure out what's going on and what happened and almost being killed by this thing.
Right.
And, again, not to spoil too much, but she's an asshole to everybody in that game, basically, all the way through up until the end. Even when they're like, you said you would help us. You were helping us do this. You agreed to do this. She's like, I just want to go home. I don't give a fuck. Get out of here. Like, that's almost word for word what she says. I don't know. There's just a huge disconnect between some things in that game. And then, of course, because they came out around the same time, there was a lot of comparisons between the two. And some people were pushing back against saying Hi-Fi Rush didn't fit, but I'm probably a little biased because I like the game so much, but I think it works.
Yeah.
It works for that game, the tone, how it looks, all that shit.
Right.
It all flows. It all fits together, essentially like puzzle pieces. It actually works.
Right.
Forspoken is hit and miss. It's pretty. Some stuff's fun. It looks cool. I like the idea of the story, but just the other stuff does not click like it needs to.
Even more reason
Oh no, it's a solid 6.5 game.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's just if you play it for the story and wanting to get engrossed in it,
it's gonna be hard.
Go into it. Yeah, I guess like be trepidatious about it. But if you're going in because you like the looks of it and you probably like the gameplay, and who cares if you're not worried about the story?
Right. We'll have to wait and see.
I'm never gonna tell you not to buy a game unless it's terrible.
Yes. I appreciate it.
I will get off my soapbox now.
Oh man. So Sir Spencer finally
Sir Spencer.
Yeah.
Sir Spencer Philip.
is finally acknowledging Xbox's lack of games.
I'll say he did the same thing around the same time last year as well. But yeah, I mean, he's acknowledged after, I think this was after the developer direct too. He's like, yeah, Xbox needs more games. We're trying to do what we can here. But I feel like this is quite literally the same thing he said last year around the same time. So. We shall see. It's really all I can say about it.
That's all you can do.
I mean, just to skip ahead a little bit too.
Yeah.
Just to skip ahead, like, I hope that they have games coming out. Just because of the quarterly sales numbers between Xbox and Sony, they kind of need it.
Pretty much, because from what it looks like, PlayStation killed it versus Xbox. They're not doing too great.
Yeah. Revenue for PlayStation for Q3 was up 53%, and their hardware sales were up 46%. Whereas in Q2 for Xbox, hardware sales were down 13% and revenue was down 13%. So, Hi-Fi Rush is a good injection of what they need, but definitely need more.
Pretty much. Though I want to say the PlayStation one is kind of expected now that the systems are more readily available. So that surge makes sense.
I mean, I could argue that Xboxes are readily available as well. Just not enough stuff to make you want to buy them.
Right, but they've always been readily available. That's the thing. Whereas PlayStation, you're like, since its release during the pandemic, it's, hey, guess what? We have the PlayStation 5.
They both started off like that, yeah. But the Xbox picked up on what, consoles, hardware, I don't know what you want to call it. But they had stuff in the wild still. Even the Xbox Series S, they had a lot of those still out in the wild, and people kind of defaulted to that because it was easy.
Right.
I mean, it still played games just like the Series X. Played them well, you didn't need a disc, and you just go.
Right.
That's really all you needed.
So
you would think that would be an easy way to adopt it.
It would be an easy way, but at the same time, like, they had their sales throughout the entire time, whereas PlayStation didn't have that. Now it's more readily available. Those who were planning on buying it before and didn't have the access, they're buying it now.
I agree. Plus, it really comes down to the games, too. A lot of their first-party titles that have been looked forward to keep getting pushed.
Yeah.
And now we're into 2023 now, and two of the big names are still getting pushed. Like, Redfall's not coming out till May, and Starfield still does not have a release date.
Right.
Which there is speculation that it's going to be pushed into September, if not later. Because it wouldn't make any sense to release Starfield in May, turn around and have the summer showcase, and say, oh yeah, here's Starfield as well.
Right.
Because then you're kind of eating a snake biting its own tail at that point.
Yeah. Good luck, Xbox. Hopefully you do well. Figure your shit out.
Hopefully they get the games out this year so they can make up some ground.
Pretty much. If not, you can always hop over to my side of the fence.
Hey, I don't discriminate. I just have an Xbox. I've been entrenched in that ecosystem for a while. If I had a PlayStation, I would play it as equally. I don't care. I like video games.
I'm of the opposite opinion. I'm very much a PlayStation boy, and if I play an Xbox, it's because PlayStation pissed me off.
That's fine. You do you. Live your truth.
Though I've been very tempted with a couple of the games that did come out. Hi-Fi Rush is definitely not helping that situation.
That's exciting to hear.
So I'm starting to be a little more open. Now, if my wallet could do the same, that would be nice.
Oh, it can be open. It just doesn't have anything in it.
Yeah, that's the sad part. Ugh.
It's the world we live in, man.
Yes, it is.
So did you read about D&D backing down from the OGL stuff?
I did not. I didn't have a chance. So what exactly is going on? Have you checked the new... Have you had a chance to check out the new OGL?
So there isn't going to be a new OGL. They're defaulting back to 1.0 and leaving that in place. They're not going to mess with it.
No shit.
They're leaving that up, and they're moving whatever... I don't know what SRD stands for, but they're making their 5.1 SRD available under a Creative Commons license. So it's going to be open to people to use.
Wow.
So it's like a hard 180 for them from what was going on, Which, I mean, good on them. They realize that they fucked up hardcore, so they're trying to make it right and taking steps to do so.
Right. I'm just curious how they got to that conclusion. Just because the
Which conclusion?
Well,
to leave it in place, or
to leave it in place, and then not only leave it in place, but to make the SRD a similar type situation.
Well, let me read you the first couple lines from their post on D&D Beyond.
Okay.
Quote, "When you give us playtest feedback, we take it seriously. Already more than 15,000 of you have filled out the survey, and here's what you said. 88% do not want to publish TTRPG content under OGL 1.2. 90% would have to change some aspect of their business to accommodate 1.2. 89% were dissatisfied with deauthorizing OGL 1.0. 86% were dissatisfied with the draft of VTT policy. 62% were satisfied with including systems reference documents, which was the SRD.
Okay.
Content in Creative License or Creative Commons, and the majority of those who were dissatisfied asked for more SRD content in Creative Commons. So, and then they followed up with, these live survey results are clear. You want OGL 1.0. You want irrevocability. You like Creative Commons. The feedback is in such high volume and its direction is so plain that we're acting now. And then they go on to say how they're leaving 1.0. They're making 5.1 from their SRD and the Creative Commons license, and you can choose which you prefer to use.
Nice.
Oh, and they clarify too, since we were wondering. They say the Creative Commons license makes the content freely available for any use. We don't control the license and cannot alter or revoke it. It's open and irrevocable in a way that doesn't require you to take our word for it. And its openness means that there's no need for a VTT policy. Placing the SRD under a Creative Commons license is a one-way door. There's no going back.
Good.
Gotta applaud them for doing the right thing there. Well, okay. Maybe saying doing the right thing is wrong, because they let people vote on it, and the people spoke and they listened.
Right.
So I guess good on them for taking the feedback and actually following through with what they said they would do.
Basically. They shouldn't have touched it to begin with.
Yeah, I agree, but, was their hand forced? Did somebody higher up saying, hey, do this, or something needs to be done?
I don't know. All I know is... Ah, crap, I lost my train of thought.
The train has left the station.
Yes, it has. Choo-choo! Oh, dear God. Oh, fuck me.
No thanks, I'm married.
I can change that. No.
What? You're married too.
I can change that even easier. Oh, I'm surprised my wife isn't coming over here and beating my ass.
She doesn't hear what I'm saying. You're never going to remember at this point.
No, I'm not. Sorry, guys. It'll probably pop up in the next podcast. To be continued.
Oh, boy.
But, yeah. Good on them. Oh, now I remember. Notice how they don't say, yeah, we fucked up.
Not in this one, but they did before. Like, the last podcast when we were talking about it, I believe, in the beginning of that was like, yeah, we messed up. We did the wrong thing. So here's how we're going to try to change it moving forward.
But isn't that also the same one that they said?
It was a follow-up. It was the more succinct one, not the one saying we won but lost two. It was the
one was It
was from the specific person.
Okay. Yeah, because there was one. Okay. Yeah, because there was one that was saying that people are saying, yeah, we won, but like, so did we.
I've got the quote for you right here.
Yeah.
From Kyle Brink, the executive producer of D&D. He says, we are sorry, we got it wrong.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
Okay.
So they did own up to it the right way.
I stand corrected. I apologize. I flubbed up.
You're good. You flubbed up?
Yes.
I like the way you put that.
The cat's already out of the bag at that one. I don't know why I'm trying to PC it at this point. No, not PC it. Make it family friendly.
I don't know how you can do that.
Seeing as I've been dropping F-bombs left and right, all cast. Well, but yeah. Oh yeah, final thing for today. E3 is finally back, huh?
Yes, ReedPop said that they were going to be back this year and have not changed course yet, but according to IGN sources, the big three are a no-show for E3. So no Microsoft, no Sony, and no Nintendo. And Nintendo's kind of been a no-show anyway, because they've been unofficially part of E3, but they always put on their own Nintendo Direct. Like, they don't really abide by any of that. It's just, hey, I know this is going on, but here's our thing. You know?
Right, exactly. They can.
And then Sony dropped out so that way they could do their own thing. And Microsoft was the last holdout, and now they're doing their own summer showcase.
So now, what basically E3 is going to be another like indie game showcase at this point?
That's a really good question. I keep saying ReedPop. I don't know what his first name is, but basically him or the company that is putting on E3, they have stated that even if they are not a no-show, this show is still going to go on. If they're still going to have showcases like before, then there's a good chance that maybe Ubisoft and EA are going to do their thing, because that's what they've done before. They could absolutely put together like a Steam Indie showcase or something like that. But there are different companies that put that kind of stuff on already, like PC Gamer Mag or whatever it is, PC Mag. They have their own one. A couple of years ago we had a list of like the different websites that were putting on their own little showcases too, and I cannot think of any of them right now.
Oh, gee.
But they all have their own, like the PC showcase, the indie showcase, and things like that. So I wonder if they would try to condense that all down into E3 proper.
I have no idea. Maybe. Well, only time will tell. Hopefully it does well and they're able to get it back up and going again.
Here's a good question for you. Do you think it needs to come back? After last year seeing how they managed everything without an E3, do you think we need to have E3 back, or is it kind of like one of those old hat things?
I think so. I think at this point it's more nostalgia than anything else. But yeah,
I agree with that, because like, how else did you ever get your video game news and seeing what's coming out? You'd watch E3.
Yeah, like we talked about, G4, E3. They went hand in hand. That's how we found out our stuff when we were younger. But
pretty much.
I get it. It sucks, but
so you don't think it needs to come back?
probably not.
I will say we don't know what their plan is right now. We don't know what the show's going to look like this year or anything like that. Right. So maybe they've retooled it well enough where you don't need the big three. But after all the big names making their own showcases for things, not even just once, but multiple times a year,
right?
Don't really know if you need something like that.
We'll see. See how it does.
I would say the only downside to that is if Xbox and Sony and Nintendo want to do their own showcases. A lot of them, maybe not Nintendo included, but Sony and Xbox, they've acquired a lot of different studios and developers.
Right.
Are they going to put like a showcase on every quarter to show off new games from each arm?
Right.
Are they going to maybe like make specific shows to be specific themes or anything like that?
Maybe.
There's plenty of different ways it can go.
Right. Basically, they could probably do it in a similar fashion that Disney Plus did with Disney Plus Day for the last couple of years. They announced their different lineups from the different branches and whatnot, and usually ends up well. So
the only thing we'd have to worry about for games is release date slipping.
No, Jesus.
which I'm kind of tired of that. Like, don't tell me about a game that's coming out 6 months to a year in advance. Tell me it's going to come out tomorrow. Do it like Hi-Fi Rush did. Because that was perfect. It's like, hey, we've been making this game. By the way, you can buy it today. Here you go.
Right. Or even if like they tell us about a game that's going to be coming out, they go like you were talking about. If they do
maybe
something,
even a month in advance. Do you think a month is plenty of time, or is that too short?
no. I'm saying like give me developments as long as it's on time type of thing. Give me developments on it.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't know what's going to affect the timeline either.
Right. Like where,
dude, good example here. Nintendo, they were supposed to put out Advanced Wars, the remake of it or whatever, last year before. That game's done. It's been done. What are you doing?
Callie's asleep on the couch.
Oh, hey. But yeah, that game's finished. It was set to be released a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You know why it hasn't been?
Why?
The war in Ukraine. They felt that it was wrong for them to release it because it's a war game and the shit's going on. So they're like, we're going to sit on the release for a while.
Right.
And again, that's a timeline thing. They were all set, ready to go, but then they've had to push it off for years because they didn't feel it was right.
Right.
Now, that's not a whole development thing. That's a world problem, but still, it's along those same lines. You never know what's going to push a game back.
And I get that. I don't have issues with. I'm just saying what would be cool thing to do is along that same line of like what Hi-Fi Rush did. It's like if they're gonna give updates on a game, let it be this significant updates, and then make it align up with that showcase. Be like when they finally are like, okay, this is done, cool, or they're ahead of schedule. Hey, it's out now. So we'll be releasing it within 30 minutes. Get ready.
See, that's why a lot of indie studios are cool too, because they'll post consistent updates saying, here's how far along I am with this game, or here's a new look at it, and they'll give a pretty solid release date and keep you up to date on that all the way up into release.
Yeah.
I feel like big name studios and stuff don't really have that luxury either.
Yeah.
A lot of their shit's got to be under lock and key.
Only time will tell at this point.
I'll say I'm not excited for E3, but I will check it out to see what goes on.
Right.
Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. Go in there with no expectations.
Worst case scenario is say, we don't want. We won't watch it anymore. And I think that should be everything we got.
That's everything that I saw. Tried to keep up with some additional news during the week, and E3 was the biggest one that popped up.
Ooh, actually.
Which I was debating on saying anything about it because it ultimately doesn't matter. But we'll see. What were you just excited about?
Yeah. Remember the Facebook post I sent you about Disgaea 7?
Not off the... Oh, yeah. It took me a second. I didn't remember.
That one threw me for a loop. Yeah, apparently I didn't know that was coming out that soon.
Yeah.
They just came out with 6.
I also noticed that you called it Disgaea instead of Disgaea.
I've been wrong before. I'm trying to be consistent.
Fair. Oh, that's right. Go check out some of Game Informer stuff. They've been showing some gameplay and footage and stuff of RE4 Remake. It looks so good. It looks so good. Except for the rain. The rain looks nuts. But other than that, the game looks cool.
Yeah.
Also, I just saw an article that said Square Enix announced declining financial results, and they're planning multiple new games, including new IP this year.
Oh, Jesus.
Wonder how that's going to work.
I don't know, but hopefully, I don't know how many Final Fantasies they're gonna pull.
Oh, I didn't add these to the list either. I've got some other news really quick.
Okay.
But you go ahead and finish your sentence.
No, I was gonna say if that news doesn't sound good, especially after the conversation that we just had about Forspoken. because if their finances are going down the hill, I have no, I don't think they can pull. If that's the case, I don't think they'll be able to pull another Final Fantasy situation out of their hat. Especially since
Maybe, yeah, but like, we talked about this a couple weeks ago too about live service games. I'm pretty sure they own all the rights to Final Fantasy. What the fuck is it? 14, 13, 14, the online one, whichever it is. And that game makes money hand over fist. Everybody's playing that still. So at least they have that pipeline. Could fund some stuff. Plus, they have these other Final Fantasy games that are coming out this year. And you know those are going to sell.
Oh, absolutely.
So maybe they'll be okay. And this is just on the interim.
Maybe it could still be residuals from the pandemic, Ukraine, inflation. Basically the same shit everybody's running into at this point.
Yeah. But this week, I forgot to write this down, but this week was like the week of shutting off live games or games as a service things.
Okay.
Apex Legends Mobile got turned off. Crossfire X, which was an Xbox game, they're turning off that in the single player mode. I think there was another game that turned off this week too. Oh, Rumbleverse. The wrestling battle royale, the wrestling battle royale game.
Okay.
That got turned off too, or that will be getting turned off. And then the Ubisoft game where it's dodgeball. Can't remember the name of that game, but that's being turned off as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
Sorry, guys.
And I'm a little bit pissed off about something else.
What?
There's rumors, no solid information that I can find yet, saying that there was a new single-player Apex Legends games, or Titanfall game set in the Apex Legends universe kind of thing. And that just makes me mad, because Titanfall 2 is one of the best first-person shooter games you will ever play, story-wise and gameplay-wise. And it needed another game so bad. You can buy that damn game for like $5 anywhere right now. If you have not played it, play it.
Yes, sir.
It is so good. And I've seen on Twitter like videos of different parts of that game popping up. Especially, without spoiling anything, just for you, there's a part of that game where you and your Titan are on these aircrafts that are going off to do another thing, and you have to destroy one that's flying next to you or something like that. And your Titan he's holding you in his hand, and he's like calculating how far and how hard he's got to throw you so you can land on the next thing. And you just get launched in the air while you're flying on these airships to one that you have to land on to do the next thing.
Oh,
and just the friendship between him and the Titan and your pilot, it's so good. Story-wise, like it's a great story. It's a good game.
yeah. So now why would you be upset about that?
Because we could have got another game, and if they canceled whichever one was supposedly in development, I'm going to be upset. I can't find anything solid that's saying, yes, this was happening and they killed it off. I'm just seeing lots of rumors about it, and I'm like, oh, don't do this to me. Because there have been calls from the community itself saying, where's our sequel? We need another one. And these are the same people who are making Star Wars, the Jedi Fallen Order, and then the new one that's coming out, which got delayed this year as well. So they moved on to that, plus Apex Legends. So sure, they've had their hands full, but it's just that people want another Titanfall game, and they're not getting it, unfortunately.
Well, fingers crossed that rumor is just bunk.
I hope so, because it'd be really sad if it's true. And it's like, yeah, sorry.
I got a handle of whiskey if you want. If we find out it's true.
I've got plenty. I just don't drink. But I appreciate it.
Problem. Ugh.
That was the name of the Ubisoft game, Knockout City. That was the dodgeball one.
So.
Oh, and I don't feel like this is big news because I haven't heard any news about Back for Blood at all. But Turtle Rock Studios, who made that game, are saying that they're not making any more additional content for it either. They're going to focus on making their next game. Which, if they were putting out additional content since the game came out, news to me. Because that game's been out for a while. Well, all right, let's wrap this bitch up.
So,
I ask you all the time, just so that way you remember every time. Where can people find us?
they can find us
Besides at your house.
in the fridge, at the ice cream shop. Now, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever there's socials. You can find us on Spotify, not Apple
Google,
yet, right?
Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on
Oh,
Apple.
are we? Okay.
Yeah, and Google Podcast.
Woohoo!
And Anchor. But on all the socials, we're Ramblepack Pod on Twitter and Instagram, and then on Facebook, we're the Ramblepack Podcast, obviously. Yay.
Yay! Give us a listen. Well, yeah, you kind of.
You.
I just realized what came out of my mouth.
Yeah. I'll get these uploaded to YouTube eventually so people can see us if they really want to. Ugh.
Me and my Snuggie.
Hey, as long as you're comfy, who cares?
Yeah, pretty much. So, good night, everybody.
Good night, because it's 10:30. Time for bed.
And we need it.
Okay. Say bye, Mike.
Bye, Mike.
Bye, Mike.